I'd like to call to order the Monday, March 2nd, 2026 Borough Green Tree Council meeting. Let the record show that council just was in executive session talking about personnel and legal matters. Month of March, I'd like to recognize that it is Women's History Month. It's also the spring equinox, so we're going to spring ahead on, is it March 8th? I think it's March 8th, this coming weekend. And March Madness. So with that, let's have a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amber, roll call, please.
Mr. Allen?
Here.
Ms. Cassidy?
Here.
Ms. Novick?
Here.
Mr. Panza?
Here.
Ms. Schwartz?
Here.
Mr. Ray?
Here.
Mayor Shea?
Present.
Thank you. And can I have a motion to approve the minutes for our February 2nd, 2026 meeting?
I move.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, additions, subtractions?
I'll second.
Any additions to it? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 16th, 2026 workshop meeting?
I move.
We have a motion, second. Any comments? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. Okay, now's the time for public comment. For anyone wishing to address agenda items, please come to the podium.
This is my first time. I'm Dan Short, 251 Park Edge. You guys just approved the February minutes. I don't see any talk about the resignation letter of Shannon's. We did talk about that because it wasn't read and it wanted to be read and it wasn't read. That was not done. The resignation letter is written in the minutes like it was read. I think the letter should have been an attachment because it was not read.
We put it into the record. We announced that we were putting the letter into the record, which is putting it into the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't attach the letter that she sent. So this was rewritten.
I'm not sure if I follow.
You're doing the minutes. This was
I see.
rewritten. It wasn't her letter. Correct? So it's
That is straight from the email. Her resignation.
I get that. Okay.
I see what you're saying. It's the text from her letter.
So she didn't sign her email. She just sent an email. She didn't sign a letter that she sent.
Jake, can you do us a favor and take a look at this to make sure we did everything properly?
Well, just because there was a lot of comment about whether you're going to read it during the council member meeting or not. I do believe one of the council persons wanted to read it, and it was not even. That's not even in here.
Okay. Just thanks for bringing that to our attention.
I'll take a look at that, Dave.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Okay. Al-Dawar Kaladi, 143 Sheldon Avenue. First of all, I agree with Mr. Short, Mr. Dan Short, I believe that is. The way that the letter is put into the record suggests, I would say, that it might have been read at the meeting, and I know it was not read at the meeting, and as I remember it, there was a statement made that it would not be read into the record because I believe the word was accusatory. So I think that should also appear in the minutes, that there was that statement made, that it would not be read at the meeting because of that. So I think it's somewhat misleading, but that's not the reason why I'm here. I would like to talk about the transparency issue that seems to be apparent regarding the borough manager's position. People may be finding this out for the first time from me, but it appears that Ms. Miller is no longer our borough manager.
Sir, I'm going to stop you right there. This is a personnel matter at this time. This is not the proper forum to discuss personnel matters.
May I respond? It concerns several items on this agenda, because I believe perhaps you may talk about this during one of the committee reports. And so that's why I believe it's appropriate at this time, because I think it's something that should be mentioned during the committee reports. Perhaps the mayor's report, or perhaps the finance and administration report, or perhaps the community and employee engagement report, or perhaps the president's report, or perhaps even the manager's report. So that's my response to that. If I'm not permitted to continue, I can comment later on, but I think it does concern that. So apparently, if I'm permitted to continue, apparently Ms. Miller is no longer our borough manager. I'm not sure about that.
Sir, that again is an active
pending
personnel matter.
Okay, I'm not sure whether that's the case.
On it at this time.
But I would like to note for the record that Ms. Miller's name continues to be on the bulletin board in the borough office as of around 4 o'clock this morning when I was there myself personally, as being listed as the borough manager. Her name is listed on the website as being the borough manager in at least 2 places under the employee staff or and also under borough administration. It's not listed as vacant. It's not listed as, personnel matter or anything. It looks like she's still our borough manager. And so if that's not the case, then that bulletin board needs to be changed and the website needs to be changed to reflect that. If somebody called to the borough office and said, I'd like to talk to the borough manager, I guess they might be told, that's a personnel matter, you can't talk to anyone. Okay? So her name needs to be removed from all of those official borough things, and it needs to be updated. And if there is a new borough manager, who I assume is this gentleman that's listed on here, Mr. Martsolf, then his name should be there instead. And on Friday, when I first saw the copy of this agenda, Mr. Martsolf, I know you'll say it's a personnel matter again, but Mr. Martsolf was listed as the interim borough manager. And sometime, and I know you can amend your agendas, but sometime between Friday and today, it appears now that Mr. Martsolf is actually the borough manager. So we have some confusion here as to who the borough manager is, and I know that might be a personnel matter. But I would really appreciate that being cleaned up. And I know it might be a mistake or an oversight, but we can't be making mistakes and oversight about things that important.
Ms. Miller is currently out on leave. Mr. Martsolf is here acting as interim borough manager in her absence. That's the only update we can give at this time.
And that's fine. That's wonderful. And I would hope you could update the borough website to reflect that. And I would hope you'd update the bulletin board in that room over there, because people should not have to come to a meeting to find out who the borough manager is. People should not have to read the agenda as the only way that they can find out who the borough manager is. We have a right in this community to know who's running this place.
And while Ms. Miller is out on leave,
that's
Mr.
fine.
Martsolf is here. And
that's
your
fine.
comments
But
are
you
noted, sir. Thank you.
Shouldn't have to come to a meeting to find that out. And I think that's pretty clear.
And Mr. Martsolf is not an employee of the borough. He's a consultant.
Well, that's another question,
Yeah.
which I thought would have been a personnel matter. But thank you for sharing that with me. So yes, but other people are listed on the borough administration page. If you look on the website under borough administration, other people who are listed there are not contractors. Are contractors, and not borough employees. I believe that gentleman over there is the borough engineer person. It says LSSE, I believe, next to his name under Borough Administration. Mr. Leland, our solicitor, is listed there, and it lists his form. So I don't see how, just because this gentleman may be a contractor, he should not be listed on the website under Borough Administration. Now, under the other section, which I don't have my notes right now, it says Borough Staff or something. And under staff, people like the engineer and Mr. Leland, and those folks aren't listed there. But contractors are listed under where it says administration. So those two parts of the website need to be updated. So as I said, you should not have to come to a meeting to find this out. You know, there's folks on council now that ran on a transparency platform. I guess it only lasted a couple months. This is very discouraging. I'm disappointed. I expect more, and we deserve better. Thank you.
Diane Coombs, 272 Ringgold Avenue, and thank you. You just stole all my thunder. I had the same comments, the same preparation that he had done, and I'm just echoing what Aldo said. Thank you, Aldo.
Thank you. Anyone else for agenda items? Okay, thank you. Up next is the mayor's report.
Okay, thank you. It's been a busy February for me. February 7th, I went to the Green Tree Borough Company's banquet. They have that annually. I swore in the officers, so I thank you for inviting me, and thank you for all the Green Tree Volunteer Fire Company does for the borough. The next event that I attended was on February 14th. I went to the Valentine's Day's dance. Thank Jen Matty and everybody else that was involved. I know Chris Short was involved, Luann was involved in Valentine's Day dance. So it was very nice. The next event I went to was on February 15th. I went on a tour of Bird Park by a volunteer. They have a volunteer organization that takes care of Bird Park. I'm going to look into reestablishing a volunteer organization here in Green Tree to take care of the Nature Center. There used to be an organization called SEED, S-E-E-D. I can't recall what it stands for. Maybe somebody here remembers. But there was an organization at one time that helped take care of the park. But one thing that I learned from that tour is just go in small increments. I mean, plan to plant some trees in a small area, plan to clean up a small area, don't take on too much at one time. The next thing I did was attended a workshop meeting on February 16th. At that workshop meeting, a number of things were discussed, including the exit onto Poplar Street in regard to the interchange in 2029, whether you can make a right turn or a left turn. The public comment was if they go onto Poplar Street, not to make a right turn, to restrict it and only a left turn. Speed humps were also discussed at that workshop meeting, as were illuminated signs being turned off at 11 o'clock if your business is not open. The next event that I attended was a public safety telephone meeting on February 20th. Dinah will have further input on that about us participating with a social service organization to help the police. Some calls on the police might need social service instead of police, so she'll give a report on that. She'll also give a report on speed humps. The next event I attended in February was, I'm looking for number 6 here on my list. I'll find it. I'll go to number 7, number 6, here we go. I attended a petition signing event, and at that event was Dan Deasy. He's our state representative. Also was Wayne Fontana. He's our state senator. Also Bob Palmasino. He's on county council. And also the mayor of Carnegie. That was a good event just to make contact with those people. Being the mayor, we never know when those people could help us out. On February 25th, I attended council interviews. There were 2 people that interviewed, Mark Daffner and Kara Martorella. They're both excellent candidates, and council will be voting on one later tonight. The next event was a busy month. The next event was, got number 8 here someplace, Point Park. Had a meeting with Dave Ray and with Lucas in regard to Point Park Field. We're going to try with the new council here. I've also talked with the athletic director today, Scott Swain. We're going to try to move that ahead. They made a proposal to us. We're going to make a counter proposal to them in the very near future. So we're going to move that along as soon as possible. So moving on to non-events, a couple things. The police are updating the police policies. The borough uses Lexipol. Lexipol is an organization, police organization that has policies, and we have to pay for that, but we're trying to do 5 policies every week. So far, we have 15 policies. We have to get a procedure whereby they're adopted. We're going to get up to 50 policies for, not for free, but 50 policies for the money we already paid. Next thing, the Pittsburgh Polar Plunge. They participated this year. We had 5 officers participate in that, and they raised $4,140. And we were 31 out of 143 teams in raising money. So that's for charities. So Special Olympics. I'm proud of our police department that 5 of them participated in that polar plunge this past weekend. 2 more things. Commonwealth Financial Authority, they have granted us $650,000 for the Tremble Drive Bridge. At some point tonight, we'll make a resolution. We need an extension. The Tremble Drive Bridge hasn't gone as quickly as originally anticipated. To get an extension on this $650,000 loan, we will need a motion later for myself being mayor, for Lucas, and for Dave Ray. They need two signatures, so those 3 people will be authorized merely to file an extension for that grant of $650,000. And I believe that that is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Up next, committee chair reports. Mr. Panza, you're up first.
Yes, the first item on the agenda is to make an appointment to council for the vacated seat by Shannon Barron.
I move that we...
Well, let me do it, wow, that was really quick. Let me, in order to be more transparent and open, I'm going to do it by Robert's rules this time, by saying, let me open the floor for nominations for the council vacancy. Do I have any motions for council vacancy?
I move to nominate Mark Daffner.
Do I have a second? Okay, I will second that. Do I have any more motions?
I move to nominate Kara Martorella.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Do I have any more motions to nominate anyone else? Okay. Do I have a motion to end nominations? To close nominations?
I move to close nominations.
Okay, nominations are now, do I have a second to close?
Second.
Okay, now nominations are now closed. So now we have 2 candidates, so a roll call vote would take place. If a candidate receives a majority, they would be filling the position. If they do not reach a majority and there would be a tie, I would inform everyone, the mayor, this is the one tie the mayor cannot break. If a tie arises, it will go to the Court of Common Pleas. So I guess you could call for a roll call vote?
Amber, could we please have a roll call vote?
No, either or. Either or you vote.
Oh, you say the name?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Panza?
Mark Daphner.
Mr. Allen?
Karen Morello.
Ms. Kowski?
Kara Martorella.
Ms. Godovic?
Kara Martorella.
Ms. Schwartz?
Mark Daphner.
Mr. Ray?
Karen Martorella.
So that would be 4-2. Congratulations, Kara. Welcome to council. And now I just have a quick community and recreation report. My recreation committee met, I believe that was 2 weeks ago, and we met with the new leaders of the Oktoberfest committee. And the outcome of the meeting was we pledged to make Oktoberfest great again. And we do plan on it. And also, we talked about the swimming pool, about bringing it back to the Planning Commission to let it give us another overview and see what direction we really need to go with the swimming pool. So at that point, this is the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Panza. Ms. Schwartz, Economic Development and Planning.
All right, so the Planning Commission reorganized this month, and the officers are, the chair is Jessica Swish, vice chair is Christine Short, secretary is Jeff Natali. Also, they did have a second meeting where they looked at plans for credit union development that's going in. Is that correct, Chris? Yes. Yes. That will continue to be discussed, I think, going forward, and they also are looking at their list of items to tackle from the, were you kicking it?
It's been approved.
It's been approved?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And then they will also, I'm sorry, I was at a meeting that night.
That's okay. It's been approved, and there is some contingency. You and I can talk offline.
Perfect. We'll bring that to the next meeting if we need to. They will be looking at the list of items from the comprehensive plan that they will be looking to focus on in the coming year. So that is something they will be working on, as well as we may be bringing more issues, as Mr. Panza mentioned, the pool, as well as potentially the lighting ordinance to the Planning Commission.
Yes, so during the public meeting, can I officially ask the Planning Commission to reevaluate the swimming pool, take a look at that, Mr. President?
Well, I think
it's
they already have it.
I think you literally send me an email, and we send it to them.
Okay.
It's perfectly that. So also, my committee met minus one person, just to kind of get a gauge on set a schedule. We will be meeting the second Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. That will have us meet the day after planning has their meeting, so if there's anything that comes from that we need to tackle and puts us before if we had a workshop meeting or the next meeting. So that will be a regularly scheduled meeting for our committee. And at the meeting this month, we will be making our plans and our goals for this year. So that's that, and then I have a motion to make. This is regarding 978 Green Tree Road, deed restriction removal. Jake, after I read this, you want to give some context before I read it?
Well, I can. First of all, though, I believe where we left this off was it was tabled, so we would need to first have a motion to untable it if we're going to move forward with the vote. So if there's a motion that's made to untable it and a second, then I can provide a little more information.
Okay, so I move to untable the motion that we authorize the preparation and execution of an agreement between the Borough of Green Tree and the record owner of 978 Green Tree Road to voluntarily remove the deed restriction prohibiting the sale, storage, and warehousing of alcoholic beverages at the premises for commercial or retail purposes as set forth more thoroughly in the deed recorded in the Allegheny County Recorder of Deeds, Office at Deed Book Volume 9155, page 444.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to provide a brief explanation.
Okay,
But we
yep,
can
no.
move forward first with a vote.
Okay.
This is just to untable.
Yeah, just on the table. Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. So it's on table.
Oh, Jake's gonna
Correct. So, council, again, for your consideration tonight, just to bring everything back into focus, I was approached at the end of last year by an attorney who represents the current owner of 978 Green Tree Road. Her client is looking to sell the property. During the closing process, it was discovered that there is a deed restriction that was placed on the property by the Borough of Green Tree back in 1994 when the Borough of Green Tree was the record owner of that property. And essentially, it prohibits the sale of alcohol. That property is currently used as a Chipotle restaurant. The seller would like for the restriction to be removed so that whomever purchases the property would have the ability to begin selling, or the tenant would have the ability to begin selling alcohol at the premises. As you may recall, notice was provided to all of the neighboring properties. No one appeared. The update that I have is that I did receive an update, or a letter, excuse me, from the owner's attorney that's included in your packet tonight on page 32, just more thoroughly explaining their position with respect to why they want this to be removed. So council then can make a motion in a second and then reconsider this motion at tonight's meeting if they're so inclined to do so.
And it should also be noted that the borough office was able to research minutes going back to 1994, was it?
It was. Yeah.
And we couldn't find, Mr. Panz and I both looked at those minutes, we couldn't find any detail as to why that restriction was originally put in place. But it was interesting to look back in those minutes. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, you said the residents around were notified, and I understand it was about anyone within 200 feet. Do we know how many residents were notified within? 200 feet just doesn't seem like very much. So I was kind of curious if there were any residents that were actually notified, or was it just the businesses around? I don't know.
The residents are within 200 feet, so any resident, I believe on West Manila and across the street on East Manila would probably be notified.
And as long as it's not a conviction, we can get you that information tomorrow, not specifically exactly how many.
Yeah, as long as we did notify some actual residents, yeah, that's my only question.
Yeah, we did.
All right. Do you want me to read it again? All right. I move that we authorize the preparation and execution of an agreement between the Borough of Green Tree and the record owner of 978 Green Tree Road to voluntarily remove the deed restriction prohibiting the sale, storage, and warehousing of alcoholic beverages at the premises for commercial or retail purposes, as set forth more thoroughly in the deed recorded in the Allegheny County Recorder of Deeds office at Deed Book Volume 9155, page 444.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Do we have a second? We have no second, so that motion doesn't move forward. How does that impact?
Well, I can now go back and inform the owner representing the seller that council has declined to lift the deed restriction.
Okay.
Jake, does that mean they can go to court and potentially get it lifted without our...
Correct. They could petition to have a judge lift the restriction.
Okay. Ms. Schwartz, anything else?
That is the end of my report.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Allen, Finance and Administration.
Yes. To report for my report this evening, I am still taking a very, very deep dive into all of the outsourced invoices that we currently have for the borough. I will say, in true transparency, that once I have all of that compiled, we will be meeting with the committee and kind of digging through all of that. There is, as most of you know, a lot of things that are outsourced in our community currently in regards to finance and things in administration. So I'm digging into that, and I'm hoping to have a full report as much as I can, again, because we have to remember with transparency, although that was the number one thing that I ran on, There are things that I cannot talk about, and there are things that many of us up here will not be able to talk about legally. So I will be as transparent as I can at all times when it comes to things in my committee as well as being on council. But we must remember that we are people up here that cannot talk about certain things, and that's just the way it is going to be. So I hope next month to come back with lots of things with Finance and Administration and talking to my committee about that, but that is what I have for my chair report right now. Just to be, again, transparent, there is a lot of stuff to go through that has been kind of put on my plate. So with that, we will move to ratify the actions of the borough manager in paying the February 2026 invoices from the general fund totaling $62,284.37, the payroll account totaling $236,858.62, educational service agency fund totaling $4,274.36, and credit card for December 2025 totaling $3,300.11.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Okay, then to approve the payment of the March 2026 invoices from the general fund totaling $123,624, sanitary sewer fund totaling $7,045.39, and capital projects fund totaling $87,051.09.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Okay, then we also have ordinance number 1915, which is setting wages benefits for the full-time borough employees. The motion is that I move that we pass ordinance number 1915, setting wages and benefits for the full-time borough employees.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments?
Mr. President, if you wouldn't mind, I just make a comment. Your
Sure.
next three agenda items, which are, sorry. D4, 5, and 6 are annual housekeeping procedures for wages. These are setting wages for benefits for your full-time employees, your seasonal employees, and your special school police employees. I do just want to make one quick amendment, not that it's detrimental, and it's an oversight on my behalf. Typically, we take resolutions from the previous years and simply update them. When we updated Resolution 1915, we had two title changes for the Executive Administrative Assistant and the Administrative Assistant Receptionist. So we simply need to correct those titles, but nothing changes about the actual salaries or hourly rates. So I just wanted to be, for all clear purposes of transparency, informing you of that before we take action.
Do you have the updated job titles?
I do. The updated titles is Public Communications Administrator and Receptionist, a Departmental Support Assistant.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second on ordinance 1915. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
That's supposed to
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a roll call. Sorry about that.
Mr. Allen?
Yes?
Ms. Kowski?
Yes.
Ms. Godovic?
Yes.
Mr. Panza?
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes. That motion passes.
Okay, and we have ordinance 1916, which is setting wages and benefits for the part-time and seasonal borough employees. The motion is I move that we pass ordinance 1916, setting wages and benefits for the part-time and seasonal borough employees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Okay, Amber, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Kowski?
Yes.
Ms. Godovic?
Yes.
Mr. Panza?
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Okay. And we have ordinance 1917, which is setting wages, benefits for the special school police employees. The motion is that I move that we pass ordinance 1917, setting wages and benefits for the special school police borough employees.
A second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Amber, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Ms. Kowski?
Yes.
Ms. Zadovich?
Yes.
Mr. Panza?
Yes.
Ms. Schwartz?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I can be.
All right, next is to designate a delegate and alternate for Shar West COG. The motion is I move that we designate Ron Panza as the delegate and Mayor Schenk as the alternate delegate for the Shar West Council of Governments COG.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, well,
That motion passes.
thank you, everyone. I do want to say, we are hosting the COG meeting here this month. I'm not sure what the date is.
So the 23rd?
No, I think it's...
We are, we're making arrangements to
Yeah.
feed everybody.
And normally, when you host the COG meeting, once every 2 years, most of the council is invited to stop by and say hi. And then to keep in transparency, I do want to say, I do get food at these meetings, so I am given food at the meetings, so you know.
That's why you volunteered.
Well, I am compensated for the COG meetings.
Is that the 18th? 19th?
The 19th, okay.
And what time?
I have people block from like 3 until 10.
They're usually about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
But they want food to be served at 7. So I don't
Oh, okay, so probably 6:30 then?
If you could let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Is that the end of your report, Mr. Allen?
No, I also will move that we authorize the mayor, council president, and Lucas Martzoff to sign all necessary documents to obtain an extension from the Commonwealth Finance Authority as the multimodal transportation grant in the amount of $650,000 for the Trumbull Drive Bridge.
We need to
Do we have
first
to
have a motion
just
to
put it on
amend
the
the
agenda?
agenda. So what we would need is a motion as to what you want the agenda to be amended to reflect and why you're making the motion to amend the agenda. So if you want to start with that.
Okay, so I would make a motion to amend the agenda to discuss this motion of authorizing this signing of the check, or extending the check, yeah.
And time is of the essence, right? So that's why we're...
It was due,
I second.
yeah, we need it ASAP.
So we have a motion and a second to...
Well, I have a question, Jake. With them not being an official employee, could that come back to hurt us as far as, I mean, like, that's why we don't have him signing checks, because he's not an actual employee of ours. Well,
My professional recommendation is to include all 3 as signatories. However, my preference would be to have the mayor or Mr. Ray as president and council be the ones to actually execute them, with Lucas obviously having the ability to do so if neither Mr. Ray or Mayor Schenk are available.
And that authority is also given under your charter and under my contract that I have with you directly.
oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Yeah.
And they only need 2 signatures, so we're covering our bases by authorizing 3 people. So we'll figure it out, which 2 will be sufficient. We'll check with the authority to see.
And it's my understanding that the borough was just informed today by the state that they would need to make a motion to authorize a new signatory in Ms. Miller's absence. Is that correct?
Correct.
So the agenda, just for the sake of clarity, we only found out within 24 hours of tonight's meeting, so the agenda could not accurately reflect this motion. So what can happen is, if this motion is ultimately added and passed tonight, I would direct the borough office to publish an amended agenda within 24 hours, both on the website and at the borough office, reflecting the additional motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. Roll call vote, please. Or, all in favor? Aye. That motion passes. So the agenda is now amended.
So I say it again?
Yep.
Okay. So I move that we authorize the mayor, council president, and Lucas Martzoff to sign all necessary documents to obtain an extension from the Commonwealth Finance Authority as to the multimodal transportation grant in the amount of $650,000 for the Trumbull Drive Bridge project.
I will second that.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. That motion passes.
And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Up next, Ms. Caskey, Public Safety.
Thank you. We held a Public Safety Committee meeting on the fourth Monday of February at 7 p.m. via Zoom, and the entire committee was present, as well as the mayor, our acting chief of police, and several residents. Two topics were discussed at the meeting: traffic calming and implementation of a no-cost alternative response team option for our police department. First of all, traffic calming concerns were discussed specifically for School Street and the next steps that need to be taken. The mayor has informed me he's going to be working to develop a resident survey to gather feedback for placing temporary speed bumps. We also need to potentially check the engineer's report about the slope. Someone brought this up. That might have come up in an engineer's report. Is this prohibitive for the speed bumps, was the question that was asked. Also, perhaps borough management could explore with Public Works the future challenges with snow plowing with speed bumps, especially the temporary ones. So before we move forward, those are kind of two barriers that we see at this point. The committee would like to know what those next steps should be and who would be responsible for completing those next steps. And then a presentation was given regarding the Allegheny County Alternative Response Team Program. And we fielded questions, the committee fielded questions, and we did a presentation. The acting chief, Ranigan, reports that he is in full support of beginning to utilize these services for human service needs that are identified both during active calls and as a resource for follow-up after calls, as they feel they would be beneficial. The Alternative Response Team is a service of Allegheny County and the nonprofit organization Resources for Human Development, and provides two-person support teams who are able to arrive usually within 20 minutes or less upon the request of our Green Tree Police Department for the support of residents who are in need of human resources. This is at no cost to the borough and requires one short training for the officers, which our acting chief has agreed to arrange and schedule for our police department as soon as we give them the thumbs up as a council. The Public Safety Committee and the acting chief are in unanimous support of this program being utilized in Green Tree and would like to hear what the remainder of council feels about this and answer any questions. And I would like to give the mayor a first chance if he wants to provide any more input, as he attended that meeting as well.
Right. It's known as the A-Team. They have a number of social workers on call from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's all that they can do at this point in time. They service a number of different communities. It'd be totally up to our police department whether to use them on a particular occasion. They would not use them for any dangerous situations. Right. But if there's a particular individual that calls, consistently, and they know that individual, and that they might be helpful to have a social worker speak with them, maybe to connect them with services, they can use that. They can use the A-Team on that occasion. So I think it would be a good resource for them and helpful to our residents to have this resource available at our discretion to use, rather at the police officer's discretion to use. Thank you.
So, Mayor, if you wouldn't mind, I'd just like to add to that. As being a former police officer, I would have loved to have had this service because police officers are often asked to be experts in everything. And I hate to say it, but most police officers are not experts at social work. The fact that service is there on call, we'll still take an incremental approach to make sure it fits for our constituents, but you could probably look for a resolution at the recommendation of Chad at our next month's meeting to formally announce our policy standard on the program.
Are there any questions from council about this? Because I'm so excited. This has moved along very quickly, thanks to Acting Chief Ranigan, as well as the mayor's support. I'm just so proud of how quickly this could be implemented. So are there any questions from council, anything you feel we need to look at further, or any other thoughts?
Not necessarily a question, but just a comment. We had this in discussion on our newly elected officials class on Saturday, and there are other municipalities that take advantage of this, and it's come very highly recommended. So I'm really excited that we're considering it.
It's a great program, and when we were talking about it, the goal is to expand it. So right now, it's a limited window, but their hope is the more communities they get engaged, the more they can get support. This could be a 24-hour service at some point, which we all know that a lot of the mental health issues don't happen in that 10 to 10 period. So when we get to that point, that'll be an amazing resource for our officers. One more tool in the toolbox, as we said.
Yep.
Right. And if they're called at 9:55 PM, they're going to show up. They might have to stay to 3 AM. The call has to come in before 10 PM for them to come.
Yeah, I would say as the former chair of the Public Safety Committee and reviewing the police department's monthly reports, there's a high volume of calls that are dealing with mental health and substance abuse issues, and that really puts a burden on our police department, who may or may not be capable of dealing with it. I mean, they do it professionally, but having professional social workers on call will not only help the officers, but help the people that are in need of that help. So I'm glad that came together so quickly.
And it's my understanding they do follow-up as well.
Yes.
So it's not even if there's a call and they're not there, they'll follow up the next day and continue working with the case.
That's great.
I'm just really excited because I thought when I made this a goal, when I came on council, that this was something I wanted to bring to Green Tree. I did not think it would happen this easily, and I had no idea it could happen for free. So again, that comes from Acting Chief Rannigan actually found this resource. He found out from a neighboring community, and he brought it to me. So just really, really excited about this. If there's no further discussion on that, our next public safety meeting is scheduled for the 23rd of March at 7:30, the fourth Monday of the month. We plan to gain an update on traffic calming, prioritize, and explore next steps for our community, for our committee's 2026 goals. And always, we invite residents with concerns or ideas, please come and attend with us.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Koski. Public Works and Infrastructure, that committee chair is vacant currently, but we do have the contractor borough engineer here. Mr. Stanton, any updates on your end with infrastructure?
Yeah, there's a lot of activity going on. One contract that's out for bid is the replacement of the library carpeting, as well as some various ad alternates that the borough has budgeted. Active programs include sanitary sewer operation and maintenance program, and some capital improvements related to our storm sewer improvements. The borough is fortunate in the last 90 days to obtain a significant amount of grant funding. One of those is a multimodal grant for the next phase of the Green Tree Road Sidewalk Program. And there were two other grants that were awarded. In speaking with Lucas, one of the objectives for our April board meeting is to provide a PowerPoint presentation, maybe 10 slides, that summarize all of the activities that are going on in terms of infrastructure in Green Tree. Our engineer's report's about 19 pages long. It tracks a lot of the history. We aim to abridge that and present a lot of the initiatives that have been budgeted, new initiatives for 2026, as well as ongoing initiatives from 2025, present those to council.
So the only thing I'd add to that is engineer reports can sometimes read like stereo instructions. So if you want to get granular, those reports are going to be there for you to get granular. But I also asked them to provide Gantt charts that show when projects are expected to start, when they're expected to finish, so you can see what projects are overlapping each other, and also the grant funding through Gantt charts about how those overlap. Now, the construction industry is what it is. don't hold us to our feet to the fire, but we're trying to just make it a little bit more clear so that you folks know what's going on around the community, so you can do an even better job communicating with your constituents.
I was just asking about the status of the bridge. Are they done drawing it yet, or is it another couple years?
In terms of the Trumbull Bridge, Mr. Panza, I don't have an exact status of that.
Okay.
GFT is the prime consultant for that.
Okay.
I know that they're in a right-of-way acquisition process, but that's the extent that I can tell you. Once you get to that point, you're getting closer and closer to construction, but I don't know the exact status, sir.
Ms. Schwartz mentioned 2027. Have you heard any, like,
I think 2027 was final drawings and bid. It's in the minutes from one of our meetings earlier.
okay.
That they gave us update on the Trumbull Bridge. I have to look back.
These things happen real fast.
Well, they started drawing in 2021, so it's 2026, so.
I have a question about a small little item, the Banbury Crosswalk. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, with the lighted signs.
Yes.
Could you update us on where we stand with the one sign where the post is standing, but the signs were uninstalled?
Yes, at that specific crosswalk, we met with the property owner, met with PennDOT, and once the contractor mobilizes in the spring, we're going to move that base slightly, and then reinstall the signs.
Okay.
From there.
Do you have the specs on the sidewalk project? Does your office have the specs?
Yes, we did the design and the permitting for those, and the flashing beacon signs were actually procured by the borough several years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago, yes.
Yeah. And that equipment that was procured is what's being used in what is being constructed now is phase 3.
Okay. But my question is, while the sidewalk was being constructed, during construction, was it your firm that like checked on them? Was it our code enforcement officer that we didn't have at the time checking on them? Was it the borough manager? Who kept an eye on, like, who on our behalf looked at that project?
One of our construction resident project representatives.
Okay.
Associated with our firm, yeah.
Okay, and if I would make a statement that sidewalk's smaller than the sidewalk a couple blocks prior, would that be correct or incorrect? A couple inches shorter.
Why don't we give him some time to research that?
Oh, okay.
Get back to us.
Oh, okay.
Report back to council.
Very good. Thank you.
And then, what about the borough sidewalks? Where is that on the priority list, the sidewalks going around the building? Is that something early spring?
Yes, early spring, we requested a schedule of the contractor. There's certain repairs to the sidewalks around the borough building. When they mobilize to move that post, they'll finish off the sidewalks around the borough building.
Great.
And just so council knows, I know what your priorities are. So throughout the month, I've been meeting with both Jason and even Jacob, as hard as it is to say. Just getting updates from our professionals.
Good.
So,
thank you. Any other comments on public works and infrastructure from council? Okay. Up next, Ms. Godovic, Community and Employee Engagement.
Thank you. I just have a few updates with the AV upgrades. We met with Nick Callis this evening, just prior to our executive meeting, to go over his suggestions, since he volunteered himself to take a look at the system that we have for the AV system upgrades, and we've been looking over the 4 proposals, or estimates, I should say, estimates that we were given by 2 different companies that were received back in October. We didn't get our hands on them until recently, so we are still in the process of going over these estimates and trying to figure out if there's anyone else we can put
In the place.
proposals out to bid. So we're still working on the AV system. We're also putting together applications for any residents interested in being on the Resident Advisory Committee and for any high school, I believe junior or senior, that would be joining the Junior Council Person Program. I'm just trying to decide if this is going to be like an informal application process or an application process with interview for either one of those positions. Let's see. I also got a text message from a resident on Glencoe Avenue yesterday requesting some sort of trash receptacles that dog walkers can use for their dog's waste. Apparently, dog walkers have been throwing the dog waste in residents' trash cans. So I'm not sure if we can get maybe together with Public Works to get them a couple of the receptacles for the telephone poles like I've seen on Green Tree Road. That was a concern a resident had. I was also contacted by Hannah DeWeezy on Green Tree Road about the borough potentially sponsoring in some way the new Keystone Oaks girls flag football team. They're starting from scratch and are trying to raise money for uniforms and equipment. They have about 20 girls on the roster currently. Their first practice is actually tonight. 6 of those girls are from Green Tree. Donations would be used to support funding apparel for the team events like senior night, team building activities, and their year-end banquet. Cash or check donations can be sent to KO Girls Flag Football Booster Club. The home opener is March 17th at Dormont Stadium at 7:30 p.m. Admission is free to the community, and they would love to have a really successful, well-attended home opener to start off their season. So I just wanted to propose that to the council if we're able to do anything for them on their behalf. And lastly, this is a little personal for me, but as a fun way to engage with my community, some of the ladies are here tonight who can attest. I started a crochet and knitting group called Stitch and Giggles. We meet every third Thursday of the month. We had been meeting the last 2 meetings at Brutus Monroe. Thank you very much for allowing us your space. But moving forward for the March 19th meeting, we will be at the Carlisle Social Hall, third Thursday of the month from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The event is free. It's open to all ages and skill levels, so if you've never picked up a crochet or knitting needle or hook, you can feel free to learn. They've been very well attended the last 2 meetings. We've had at least, 20 people come to them. It's actually been really fun. So additionally, those not on social media, Jen Matthews putting it in the upcoming spring-summer Green Tree newsletter. And those who are on social media, I post updates on the Stitch and Giggles Facebook page routinely. It's a great way to meet new people, connect with them, learn a new hobby. So bring your current projects, a snack and a drink, and come and have some fun. So that's it for me this month.
Great. Thanks, Ms. Godovic. Up next is the President's report. Before I make my comments, I just want to check in with the solicitor regarding the public comment around the resignation letter. If you could just confirm that we properly entered that into the minutes the way it's, I mean, you don't have...
I took a quick look. I didn't see any issues with it.
Okay. Should it be an attachment, or could it be perceived that it was read out loud, or should it be noted that it was an attachment?
From a legal standpoint, that's entirely up to council. However you want to reference it and incorporate it, that's...
Yeah, it says submitted for the record and dated January 27th, so is that sufficient?
I believe so.
Okay. For the President's report, just an update on Pittsburgh Regional Transit. I attended a meeting on February 12th, hosted by PRT and the CEO and her planning team. The meeting covered PRT's revised bus line refresh. That's what they're calling it, the bus line refresh. You recall earlier, or back in 2025, there was some discussion of shutting down some of the bus lines. So this bus line refresh is a smaller change plan that keeps most existing service and focuses on frequency, reliability, and cost-neutral improvements. About 16,000 public comments helped shape the draft, which aims to nearly double the routes with service every 30 minutes or better, while preserving access for about 99.2% of current riders. The plan adds new or extended routes, restores key connections, and expands weekend service, with final bus stop locations to be reviewed this spring. The timeline includes outreach this spring, public hearings in June and July, and implementation planning for 2027. Green Tree is not impacted by the changes in this draft, so no change to public transportation service in Green Tree. In terms of funding and service outlook, I directly asked the CEO about PRT's funding outlook, and she said that for the next 2 years, PRT will shift capital funds into operating budgets to cover structural deficits. That doesn't sound great, to be honest with you. About $70 million will move this year and $37 million next year. So this creates a 2-year window with no major service cuts and no fare increases tied to the deficit. But after that period, PRT is going to have to start drawing down from reserves, which doesn't sound like a good thing. She said the long-term impacts may affect capital projects because those funding sources are being used to balance the budget. But they're currently working with the Governor's Office, PennDOT, and other infrastructure groups on statewide transportation funding solution. And research will take place this year, followed by a stronger funding push after the elections. Future funding levels for 2029 and 2030 remain uncertain. So in the meantime, PRT plans to move forward with cost-neutral service changes rather than waiting for new funding. So as much as you can to reach out to public officials at all levels to ensure that PRT is sustainable and that we don't see any deep service cuts into the future. I did attend the Firemen's Banquet, so thank you to all the volunteer firemen and firewomen that serve our community, and special thanks to the officers that were installed at the banquet. Appreciate the service that you provide us, and definitely they definitely keep busy, so thank you very much. And that's the end of my report. Up next, Mr. Maltzoff.
I know we're starting to burn the midnight oil here, so I'll try and be quick. I just want to say I've been here for 10 days. I think 5 days of those were virtual for various reasons. I just want to thank council for your collective leadership and your support. Particularly the president and the mayor have been particularly kind to me and communicate well with me. On top of that, I had only known the staff for a very short period of time, but I feel like I've known them for years already. So even though I'm a temporary employee that won't be here very long, I'm looking forward to making the friendships with them. I also had a handful of residents.
Temporary contractor.
Temporary contractor, yeah. Sorry about that. I also want to thank a handful of residents that just welcomed me to the community, even though if it's temporary. So I want to thank those folks. In the coming months, I'm hoping to improve the project stuff with Jason having more attendance to these meetings and committee meetings on projects to paint the picture a little bit better. And I'm also going to work with staff on, obviously not changing the agenda structure, because you are the only ones that have the authority to do that. But I want to look at improving it so it's a little bit more clear that you guys have the information that you need to take an executive look, and then also be able to provide that to the public as well on top of just the agenda. So I'll be working on that stuff, and I just want to say you guys have a beautiful community here, and you all should be very proud of what you built. And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, now it's time for public comment on persons wishing to address any borough-related items.
Christine Short, 251 Park Edge. I know a couple years ago I brought up COG, and previous council members just ignored it, so I'm glad to see that you guys are bringing the COG back in, and hopefully you go to meetings, because I do believe it helps this borough by attending it. Regarding Point Park, we're almost a year in the making here that they came up, did a presentation, you folks had meetings, and then you gave it to the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission had public hearings, and we drafted up recommendations. So I hope you still take those Planning Commission notes with you on the recommendations on Point Park. Hopefully we have an agreement with them. Maybe not, I don't know. But thank you.
Thank you.
You are more than welcome to attend the COG meeting, coming up. Since you do so much for the borough, you're part of the borough, so please feel free to please come to that March 19th meeting.
There are snacks too, yeah.
Are you saying it's open to the public?
You're giving special invitation.
It's open to all borough staff and everyone that participates, and she does more than most people. And
She will be at the crochet club.
in fact, okay, no, that's the, wait.
It's the same night.
It's the same night. Oh, okay, sorry.
How you doing? Dimitri, I'm on 194 Park Edge. So I just had a question. This is my first ever Borough Council meeting, so forgive me if I say anything out of order or whatever. Not out of order, I'm not going to be attacking anybody. Welcome. But, I had a question pertaining to two things, and it was about the deer, and the other thing was about some issues with lights on my neighborhood, because I recently, the herd of deer that we always talk about, your concerns about, I feel like they're down a lot, down the bottom of Park Edge, where the hill is getting close to the parkway. Your yard? Well, I've had a few doe in my backyard several times too. But my main concern is when I'm driving down to Park Edge, and then I get to Penfield, there is a section of lighting. I mean, they're like lights up, right? But they're not active. And this is usually the time when I encounter the deer. They are in that dark area. So it's kind of like a blind spot, and I think it definitely poses a risk. I mean, even without places like that, I remember a few months ago there was a deer that got hit and run. I'm not sure if it was a hit and run, but it got hit and it was left laying dead in someone's front yard. So I don't know if you guys on any committees have any plans to fix the lights or put up a deer crossing.
So you're saying that there are lights, street lights?
There are street lights that are out.
Burned out?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Duquesne. And yes, Duquesne Light is a reporting system, but I've reported it about 2 times now, and I've heard back from them.
Lucas, could you look into that for us, please?
And I don't know, that's why I'm here, I don't know the chain of command to go up about that, so. But is there any plans at all to put up deer crossing signs somewhere or something as a warning to people that have been here? I don't know.
Well, we could, but if we could get them to pay attention, it would be so much better.
Well, that's one thing.
Well,
I'm just
so,
saying.
do you want to, in the spring newsletter, there's going to be a survey about the deer population and things that the borough can do. So we're trying to get a pulse on the community on what action we should at least be thinking about when it comes to the deer population.
Okay, thanks.
We will do what we can at this moment, and then look at the medium and long-term solutions.
Sure. All right, thanks, appreciate that. And my other question was, because I know you guys did some pipe replacement work down on Sheldon. Road's kind of rough going up that hill, and I think it can pose a bit of a risk when it's icy and wet. Are there any plans to fix up the potholes there anytime soon? Because they're pretty big potholes.
Mr. Stanton, can you address that?
Yes.
He's taking notes.
Yeah, I believe some of that work was related to water line replacement.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're actually scheduling a meeting with Pennsylvania American Water, the water company, to identify what their schedule is and how it impacts the 2026 Green Tree Borough program.
All right, thanks.
So the patches where he's speaking of, those are cold patches, those are temporary patches?
Temporary patches.
So I will also say that you got to understand, as you know, we've had a particularly cold winter.
Yeah.
So that creates an awful lot of potholes, and we've been even trying to do some things outside of our jurisdiction to help improve the transportation of our residents. So we're well aware of that.
I appreciate that, thanks. And just one last thing, I wanted to thank you guys for passing the vote on the A-team. I didn't know much about the program you guys are planning to pass until tonight, but I've heard of the idea behind having social workers support police, and I definitely think it's a very good and very enlightened idea for the modern context of our society, blah, blah, blah. But thank you very much for doing that, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you want us to look into a possible sign at the park edge in Penfield?
Maybe not even right there. I mean, maybe even if you just had like going from the intersection of Sheldon and Park Edge, because I mean, they're down there a lot, so I don't know.
Thank
But, I'll leave that to the experts.
Hi, Karen Martorello, 179 Arla Drive. I just wanted to find out if anyone knew when the posting for Green Tree Pole jobs would be posted in the volunteer for the upcoming summer. I think it's normally in March, but I don't know if that changed at all. It's coming up soon?
Yeah. Wait for the vote tonight.
Okay.
For the pay to be able to.
Got it. Perfect. I have kids anxiously waiting, so I figured I would ask. So, great, thank you.
I think you're in a position to find out now.
Yeah, very soon.
I had asked tonight if I got done without that answer.
Hi, Elisa Kansky, 4 Robin Hood Road. I have a program I'd like council to consider. The Pennsylvania Audubon Council offers a program called Birdtown, Pennsylvania, which partners with local municipalities to promote community-based action to create a healthier, more sustainable environment for birds, wildlife, and people. Birdtown helps communities progress through certification levels by offering resources and education in many areas, including native planting, wildlife support, speaking of deer, and stormwater management. These resources can empower our community to improve our green spaces, including our 18-acre nature center that needs a lot of attention and care. There are options for children and adults, so every resident in Green Tree can get involved. Requirements begin with a small Birdtown committee of community members who focus on achieving optional goals listed in the Birdtown Toolkit. The program has a one-time $100 fee to participate. Many of the efforts our community has already made will count towards certification. With 17 communities in western Pennsylvania, including Dormont, Mount Lebanon, and Crafton, and over 48 communities statewide currently certified as bird towns, Green Tree can join the work and help lead the charge towards a healthier, more sustainable environment for all. So I'd like council to consider that for the future for Green Tree. Thank you.
Would that fall under my committee, Mr. President?
That's a community asset, I would say, so
Very good.
that would be your committee, Ron.
Would you have a minute to discuss this more after council meeting?
There you go.
Okay, very good.
Any other public comment? Yes.
Chris Kratzley, 6'9" West Manila, and I'm going to apologize because I forgot my glasses and can't read my phone. So I just wanted to ask about a question that was posed during the interviews last week with the Borough Council. The question was about ICE and the 287G agreement as it was framed in an interview. When I watched both the playback as well as what I could listen to online since I wasn't here, it was suggested that Homeland Security has contacted Green Tree seeking an agreement. Is this true?
No, I forgot. I must clarify. If I gave any indication that they actually have, I wanted to phrase the question as Homeland Security has been asking communities around the country to participate with that program, not anything in general specifically to Green Tree.
Okay.
Because to the best of my knowledge, I have not heard any direct contact from Homeland Security to our police department, and I think the mayor could maybe elaborate if I am correct on that.
Correct. And I've given Acting Chief Rannigan specific instruction that if we're contacted by any federal agency such as ICE, that I am to be immediately notified. And we have not been requested to sign any kind of an agreement with any federal agency, including ICE. And I do not anticipate that we will be requested just because we're a small community and you know, what our businesses are here. But anyhow, we've not been requested and do not anticipate that we will be requested. And if we are requested, it would be up to council to make the decision whether to sign such an agreement. But communities do not have to sign such an agreement, even if requested.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I just think it's important that we clarify and that we're very careful about what we say.
Yes.
Just because these issues, they are very fragile, and even if unintentionally they're said like that, which I truly believe it was unintentional, you know, this didn't go anywhere, it didn't really spread anywhere, but the fact that it is on the record, I think it should be corrected, and that we need to be careful because we can get a lot of people worked up really quick with just false information. There's so much of that out there that we need to make sure that we're speaking as true as we can. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so let me for the record state that I misstated that it assumed that ICE actually, Homeland Security actually contacted Green Tree, when in theory, my question was just in general, if they would contact Green Tree, what would the result be? If they would. Hypothetical, yes.
But just to comment, the citizen's correct. If you're not telling your own story, somebody else is.
Right.
So we need to be prepared for that. Sure.
Any other public comment?
Aldo R. Colati, 143 Sheldon. First of all, I just wanted to share Mr. Kratsley's concern regarding the ICE Homeland Security question. When I attended the council interviews, I was a little bit alarmed by that question about whether ICE had contacted or not contacted or whatever. That's something that we should know. If ICE does contact us to want to cooperate in some agreement like that, the residents should be made aware of that, despite how you might feel on the immigration issue. Number two, it was discussed in the course of the engineer statement about the bridge project. It was remarked that the bridge, has been in the planning stages or whatever for years. I have expressed concern in the past, and I had suggested that since it's taking so long, I do believe that bridge is inspected, and I do hope, of course, that the bridge inspections are continuing, and I think at regular intervals we should be informed whether the inspections are happening and what the results were. I don't want anything like the Fern Hollow Bridge happening in Green Tree. And one other, while we're correcting things, I don't mean this as any kind of a negative thing to Mr. Daffner, but there was a discussion about the bridge at the council interviews, and he was talking about how it was a PennDOT project. I think it should be very clearly stated that that bridge is not a PennDOT project as far as I understand it, that that's a borough-owned bridge and we're responsible for that. And I'm not saying this to say anything bad about you, Mr. Daffner, but that's a borough bridge. So we need to be concerned about that. We don't want to blame PennDOT for something that's not their responsibility. So anyways, I believe that was another thing. One of the things I wanted to talk about before when I spoke was I was hopeful that the new borough manager would introduce himself. He sort of did that, and welcome. So I don't want to suggest that I'm, opposed to you being here or anything like that. I just think, as I said before, we should know who's in charge. But I'm not going to belabor that point. Also, I wanted to note, I think it's important, given present circumstances, that it should be noted that we express concern for any borough residents, or their families who might be involved in the military action in the Middle East. And I think as a borough, we should be concerned about anyone that might be in harm's way. And I'd just like to mention that. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a military mom, and that means a lot. Someone who's currently not here in the U.S., so thank you.
Other comments?
Well, then I would make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
We're adjourned.
Vagina.